So good afternoon. As Ace mentioned, we're here to talk to you about criminal justice and athletes. And when you hear those terms, most recently, you're going to think about Ray Rice, Aaron Hernandez, Michael Phelps, and unfortunately, any current member of the Florida State football team. And because of those actions and the media portrayal, we think about athletes as being criminal justice ticking time bombs. Well, we're here today to change that opinion, because I'm here to talk to you about not only a star athlete on the basketball court, but a young man who has gone into our juvenile correctional facilities, used his talent to truly be a game changer to our juvenile justice system. So with that, I bring you Melvin Johnson.
How's everyone doing? All right. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I'm currently a junior here at VCU, majoring in criminal justice. I play shooting guard on the men's team. First, I want to start out by saying this is truly an honor to be able to speak in front of you all tonight. I never thought that some of the things I did off the court will ever get noticed to this degree. So thank you. For about 5 years now, coming to college, I knew I wanted to be a police officer. So coming to college, I chose criminal justice. I thought it was a simple process. Take the requirements, become an officer. But as I really begin to get to know the ins and outs of the criminal justice system, I became extremely intrigued by it, learning terminology, researching policing, and my personal favorite, watching Dirty Harry clips on YouTube. I took a class taught by Dr. McDougle last year, my sophomore year, and it was at the end of our season, and we had no other obligations. All we had to do was go to class, come back to our room. So she sent the email to our academic advisor saying that, well, some of the players like to go to a juvenile detention center, voluntary, and as intriguing as it sounded, it was an opportunity for some much-needed extra credit. So I went without any hesitation, but it was a tough dragging my teammates along. I had to bring Mo and Travion, and as big as they were, they was extremely hesitant to go. So we went. It was a different environment. I didn't know what to expect. Being from New York, I automatically assumed I was going into Rikers Island. I got there, we went through about three different entrances. It was one, they said strip. We said, what? They started patting us. The next one, we see some of the prisoners who were on bad behavior, they're behind bars looking at us. We're like, okay, Dr. McDougle, get in front. And we get there, and then I realized that my teammates didn't want to speak. So I get up there, they're glaring at me. They were obedient, they're staring at me. So I'm like, okay. I'm sorry. I'm Melvin Johnson. I was extremely nervous. Then these guys, all I realized they wanted to do was play basketball. So I settled down. I broke everybody into teams of 5-on-5. We played, I ref. I was extremely enthusiastic. I enjoyed it. And then at the end of it, it was dying down. We're starting to play a game of knockout. For those who don't know, it's just a shooting competition. I'm playing against a 17-year-old kid, and he's about to beat me. Now, I know humility is about lessening your importance, but I'm Melvin Johnson, I can shoot. So I'm like, no, my competitive edge came out. I said, no way, I'm gonna beat this kid. We go on for about 10 minutes. He's making shots, I'm making shots. It get a little intense. Eventually, I won, of course. So we go over to sit down, and it's a funny story, actually. Me and him sitting down, I'm talking to him, I'm giving him his props. And he's like, well, what are you about to do after this? I said, man, I'm hungry. He said, what are you gonna eat? With a smile and a chuckle, I said, probably Chipotle. He said, what's that? So I said, Chipotle. And I felt so bad asking him something he didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. So then, as I'm looking, I'm like, wow, this kid doesn't know what Chipotle is. And that's a restaurant that was created in our generation. So I automatically assumed he knew what it was, and it was an experience I took for granted. That right there was my reality check and my humbling moment where I was like, Dr. McDougle, whenever you come, you gotta bring me again. And I would like to think that everyone has had that one humbling moment where you become extremely appreciative of everything around you. It's easy to be humble in that moment when you're motivated. You're like, yes, I'm gonna do this. You wake up that next moment and it's not there anymore. But I'm thankful to say that I'm just as motivated and as humble as I was as I left my first detention center. Being from the Bronx, New York, it's rough. I had best friends who took the wrong route, but at my disposal was basketball behind every single building in the Bronx. believe me or not, there's a basketball court. So, I mean, that was my getaway. That's how I avoided trouble. And for some of my best friends, they took the wrong route. And I think in New York, with lack of opportunity and resources comes bad decision making. So when I was playing basketball with these kids, I really enjoyed myself and thought that these were my best friends that I grew up with. I saw each and every one of my friends throughout these kids. So that was just a moment that like really uplifted me, and it was like full circle for me. And as a junior, I would have never thought I would be here today doing what I'm doing. This is extremely blessing. I mean, what else can you ask for being a student athlete, being able to do a TED Talk at VCU? I have the honor of serving on the Juvenile Justice Board, and I'm graduating next year while planning on getting my master's the following while still playing basketball here at VCU. And, on my basketball team, we have 5 core values: appreciation, enthusiasm, competitiveness, teamship, and encouragement. But one of them that I would like to put emphasis on is appreciation, because we all sometimes take it for granted what we need to appreciate. And I mean, it's something that you really do need to honor and take pride in. And I try to appreciate everything I have. I have a group of men around me, my teammates, my coaches, our staff, who really try to embed appreciation in us every single day. So I'm extremely appreciative for that. And to wrap it up, my coach said over and over my freshman year, get over yourself, simply meaning stop only thinking about Melvin and worry about those around you. So that's pretty much how I live my life today. Every single day, I try to appreciate what I have and think about my teammates, my siblings, the staff, our managers. Our managers at the bottom of the totem pole, but we treat them like they're players. And it's just something that needs to be embedded in all of us: appreciation and humility. Having a heavy dose of humility could definitely change our lives. Thank you.
So in closing, just a few things I want to tell you that Melvin kind of glanced over a little bit. So that correctional facility I took them to, he was not kidding. I took them to Beaumont Juvenile Correctional Facility, which is our facility that houses our most severe juvenile offenders in the Commonwealth. I didn't really tell them that before they agreed, by the way. You know, I find that it's easier to ask for forgiveness after the event. And they might have been pessimistic in their thoughts, but not in their actions. Not one of them looked like they wanted to be anywhere else. And when I got back to my office, the numbers of emails and calls and letters that I got from correctional staff, from teachers, from counselors saying how big of an impact these young men had on those men in that facility, because they simply said the VCU basketball team came and treated us like we were anyone else. They think we are worth knowing and worth playing basketball with. We can't go to their games and we can't buy their jerseys, but for that 2-hour time, we had their attention. So I simply tell you all here today, I have the absolute best job in the world, because I get to bring this young man and his other teammates out to those facilities and watch them make the difference in those young men's lives. Because I promise you, the 5'3.5" college professor who might know all the answers to the questions can't tell them and reach them like these young men who use their amazing skills on the court to get their attention, but still teach them a lesson in the process. So that's pretty amazing, and this young man is simply awesome for doing it. Thank you so much.